Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, today, as we've been talking about, we are seeing Bitcoin pulling back, a healthy pullback. The other day I was talking about Bitcoin's RSI and the daily chart being in the overbought zone. So naturally, what you can expect based on the data is that we will see a healthy pullback. As we've been talking about, the next major target is 131, 132K around there. It may overshoot and go to 135. We'll just have to wait and see. But nevertheless, the market cycles are playing out both from the micro and macro. But we are still in the bull market. Everything is still intact. And we are still seeing the macro bull market for all assets play out, with gold hitting new all-time highs. Gold is over $4,000 right now, which is incredible. But obviously, we're not really focused on gold here, but I'm painting the larger picture for you to see that all these assets are following rising global liquidity. And on the weekly chart, with this pullback, we're seeing that the candle that was forming green on the MACD yesterday has now flipped back to light red, but it still shows the bears are losing the momentum. So bulls are going to take control here from a weekly standpoint. And of course, the higher time frame, the monthly chart, you have to look at this, right, to see the full picture and then zoom out on this. We see that the RSI is nowhere close to the overheated zone we've seen in the past. And the MACD shows the bulls are in full control. There has been no change there, so we still got room for upside. I want to address one troll. His name is Able Gaming 24. He posted on a video I published, and he says he's always calling for pullbacks and gets it wrong. Well, Abel, I'm using the data. Here it is, right? We're seeing the pullback as mentioned. It's not that I want to boast, but I want to highlight to you, look at the data, not our feelings and emotions. Now, if we look at total 3, where we have the exclusion of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins, that still shows room for upside as well from the RSI, as well as the bulls are in control in the MACD. So we're waiting, of course, for some liquidity to rotate from Bitcoin down to these alts. So we have to be patient here. However, what we are seeing, folks, is that BNB is one of the leading altcoins now. It has gotten the mantle as the leading altcoin. We've seen this for Solana, XRP throughout this bull market. Now it's BNB's turn. So this is very interesting. BNB rallies to 80% to become the third largest cryptocurrency, surpassing XRP. Now you're going to see a lot of trolls come out and say, see, XRP's dead, ha ha ha. But these are people who are prisoners of the moment. They operate by emotions. As mentioned, we've seen rotation of liquidity. So you're going to see some ebbs and flows here for these different coins. But what will eventually happen is that the liquidity will hit XRP, Solana, and much more, and they will all have their day in the sun. I've often stated every dog has its day in this market. So again, watch out for the people who are prisoners of the moment and are just going to go nuts and start spreading FUD, right? But we don't want to be involved in low IQ activities like that. We don't want to be emotional. We want to be educated. So here's what Crypto Wizard said about BNB. Higher she goes, riding to a new all-time high. Just a few days later, BNB has hit our $1,320 target with ease. Once it breaks above it, it will see $1,700. We're up plus 125.76% more to come. So again, we're going to watch BNB closely because it's showing a lot of strength. It's the altcoin that has that mantle on it as being, the leading altcoin here amongst the pack. So this is a good sign. This is more confirmation we got room to run because we saw this with Solana and we saw it with XRP. Now, with regards to XRP, if you caught my interview with Caleb Frenzen from this morning, we went over the charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. I highly recommend you check it out because he does a lot of Fibonacci analysis, and his thesis is for XRP, as long as we maintain the $2.68 floor, we are pretty good. His price targets based off of the pullback would be about $4.43 as the next target. The 2.618 would put us at $6. Now, he said if you use the correction point from Q1, The next target for the 1.618 would be $5.44, and for the 2.618 would be $11.55. So, of course, you all know I hope this thing gets the $11. That would be amazing. I think it can. There's a high probability, but there's no guarantee. I know people want certainty, right? But this is not playing the lottery. This is not going to the casino and throw it on red or black and then you get your outcome. This is investing where you have ebbs and flows. You have multiple factors, global liquidity, macro catalysts, and much more. So you got to be patient. Patience is so important here, folks. I can't stress that enough. I've been here for multiple bull and bear market cycles. I've seen it all, and we've seen incredible moves so far, but it takes time for these things to build up for the next move up. So just be patient, folks. The bull market's not over. So once again, check out that interview with Kayla from this morning. It's a great one. You're going to get a lot of value out of it. Now, folks, this episode is brought to you by Trezor. Trezor makes beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to self-custody your crypto assets. They were the pioneers of the crypto hardware wallet. They started doing this in 2013. They even created the seed phrase setup. So they have an incredible pedigree, and they know what they're doing because they started it all. I'm a user of the Trezor Save 5 device. It's beautiful. It's easy to use, has a large screen and everything like that. And Trezor's hardware wallets are open source. And folks, they support a variety of tokens, all your major tokens, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Solana, and much more, even new tokens like BlackRock's BUIDL. And they have a software called Trezor Suite, which helps you to manage all of this. So it's very easy. They even have a hand-holding service that if you need help to set up your device, you can speak to a Trezor rep. Now, they don't ask you for your private keys, so don't worry about that, right? That is something they won't ask you for. And of course, you should never share it with anybody. But if you have questions about setting it up, you need some hand-holding, they will help you to do that. And folks, if you use my code, Thinking Crypto, all one word, Thinking Crypto, you can get 5% off your purchase of a device. So check out Trezor. Once again, I'm a user. All the links will be in the description. Now, folks, bull market activities continue. We have OranjeBTC, if I'm saying that right, said we're officially public. OranjeBTC is now listed on B3, Brazilian stock exchange. Built in Brazil, made for the world, accelerating Bitcoin adoption across Latin America. So they're the largest Bitcoin treasury company in Latin America. And folks, a couple of takeaways here. One, IPOs are happening. We're still in the bull market. No one goes public in a bear market, right? I've said that many times. Second, this thing is happening around the globe. Crypto is a global asset class, so we've been seeing a lot of companies in the United States go public. But look at this. This is happening in Brazil. There's been some in Hong Kong as well. So clearly, people are bullish. They're going public. It reminds me of the dot-com boom in the 90s, right? A lot of different dot-com companies going public and much more. Now, I know some of you are going to say, but Tony, wasn't there a bubble? Yes, but every asset class and market has bubbles. The dot-com technology era of that time, the real estate market, of course, and crypto has gone through its mini bubble phases, but this could be the big one. In addition to other asset classes, right? I think we're in the everything bubble. You're seeing precious metals, gold rip, the stock market ripping, real estate's new all-time highs, all of it's following global liquidity. But anyway, the major takeaway here is still in the bull market, companies are going public, people are bullish on crypto, and it's happening around the globe. Now, speaking of going public and stock exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange owner, the Intercontinental Exchange, rises after it takes $2 billion stake in Polymarket. So essentially, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange has invested in Polymarket. If you can't beat them, join them. This is a massive capitulation. We are seeing capitulation across the board. Vanguard, JP Morgan, Citibank, you name it, they are all bending the knee to this technology and asset class. So the deal values Polymarket at around or approximately $8 billion. This is incredible. It's just a sign of the times. We're seeing the convergence of TradFi and crypto, folks. And as I've been telling you guys, the future of the markets, governments, and economies will all run on blockchain rails. Now, speaking of stock exchanges, S&P unveils digital markets 50 index tracking cryptos and blockchain stocks. But wait a minute. I thought this was all a scam. It's a Ponzi, right? It's all fake. It's only used for money laundering. That's the mentality and the mindset a lot of people out there have, because they haven't taken the next step to research this for themselves. They just read headlines. They don't go beyond their political bubble or the narrative bubble and say, let me go look at what's happening here. Let me look at both sides. Let me educate myself. But clearly, the infrastructure is being built out here for this market. And as mentioned, the convergence of TradFi and crypto, we're seeing a lot of services, infrastructure, white glove services, and data and analytics being built out that have existed for traditional assets. So this is all very bullish. So S&P Global plans to launch a new benchmark index that tracks a wide range of digital assets and blockchain-related companies, signaling growing recognition of the crypto sector within traditional finance. The S&P Digital Markets 50 Index, created in partnership with tokenization company Denari, includes 15 cryptocurrencies with a market capitalization of at least $300 million and 35 publicly traded companies in the sector with a market cap of at least $100 million, S&P announced Tuesday. Constituents have not yet been published, but no single component will exceed 5% of the index. Some of the sector's biggest companies include Bitcoin treasury company Strategy, also known as MicroStrategy, crypto exchange Coinbase, and Bitcoin miner Riot platforms. Folks, when I see stuff like this, I just sit back and I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready, not only for this bull market, like I've said many times, but future bull markets, because all of this will usher in more capital. There's going to be more building, more financial products being built around crypto. And this is before we've gotten the Clarity Act passed, before the market structure is in place. So imagine what's going to happen post market structure being passed into law. Right. So I hope you're going to stick around with me for the ride, because like I said, I don't only want to make money now, but for the future markets. And there's more to come out of this market, guys. There's more to be built here, and it's a global asset class. So a lot of capital is going to come in. Here's another example of TradFi merging with crypto. BNY, yes, BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, explores tokenized deposits to power $2.5 trillion daily payment network. Of course they are. Guys, I mean, it's incredible what's happening. We know BNY Mellon, they launched crypto custody already. They are the world's largest custodial bank. They have been before crypto. So BNY, the largest custodian bank in the world, is exploring tokenized deposits to enable clients to transfer funds instantly 24/7 while easing constraints of its legacy systems. Remember what I've been telling you guys for years? We're headed to the token economy, 24/7 trading, 365 days. No more opening and closing bell. That will be a thing of the past, a relic of the past, right, of traditional finance. We are going to be trading and having truly global markets running on the blockchain, verifiable, instant settlement, and much more. So Karl Slabicki, executive platform owner for treasury services at BNY, told Bloomberg that the project is part of an effort to upgrade real-time and cross-border payments, aiming to move a portion of its $2.5 trillion daily payment flow onto blockchain rails. I'm going to repeat myself for the millionth time. The future of the markets, economies, and governments will all run on blockchain rails. Book it. Learn what the hell is happening here. Pick your horses. Look at the blockchain these firms are using and buy the blood on the streets, the fear, and just sit back and be patient. Don't try to use leverage. Don't try to day trade it. Just hold it. Hold it. And that could be holding it over time, years, and much more. But you're going to get the best return. As Paul Tudor Jones said, crypto is the fastest horse in the race amongst assets. So compared to gold, stock market, real estate, crypto has outperformed all of those asset classes. So tokenized deposits can help banks overcome legacy technology constraints, making it easier to move deposits and payments across their own ecosystems and eventually across the broader market as standards mature, Slabicki said. Tokenized deposits are digital coins backed one-to-one by commercial bank money, unlike stablecoins, which are often backed by securities or third-party reserves. Tokenized deposits represent direct claims on commercial bank balances. Huge, huge news here, folks. Big power players getting involved, and it's amazing to see the capitulation. All right, final news item here. Life insurer, meanwhile, raises $82 million for Bitcoin financial products. I had interviewed the CEO of Meanwhile. I think it was last year. They're doing some very interesting things. A lot of products and services are going to be built around Bitcoin and altcoins as the asset class continues to mature, as we have regulation. And, with TradFi coming in, they're going to get creative and try to mimic products that exist for traditional assets with crypto. So I think we're going to see a lot of innovation and creativity, guys, especially once the market structure bill passes. So, Bitcoin life insurance company, meanwhile, has raised $82 million in a new funding round led by Bain Capital Crypto and Han Ventures. The company, regulated by the Bermuda Monetary Authority, plans to use the funds to meet surging demand for Bitcoin-denominated retirement and inflation-proof savings products, according to a Tuesday announcement. Meanwhile, offers Bitcoin-based life insurance, annuities, savings products, and insurance bonds for individuals and institutions, with all premiums, policy values, and claims managed in Bitcoin. Very, very interesting. So Apollo, Stillmark, and Northwestern Mutual Future Ventures also contributed to the funding round. The new funding brings Meanwhile's total capital raise in 2025 to $122 million, adding to its $40 million Series A from April, led by Framework Ventures and Folger Ventures. Man, they're grabbing a lot of money here, and I think the institutional investors, the VCs and the hedge funds, they recognize what's coming, right? I'm sure they're hearing a lot of things through the grapevine because, like I said, with TradFi coming in, they're going to want all the bells and whistles and components that exist in the traditional finance world for those assets, right? Those respective assets. So the early bird here who is able to get the head start and build these products can do really well. It's a smart move here by these folks. So Zach Townsend, who once again I've interviewed, CEO of Meanwhile, told Telegraph that having investors from both crypto and traditional finance showed both domains see Bitcoin as a foundational asset for savings, protection, and intergenerational wealth transfer. Well said. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. If you appreciated this content, please be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter on Substack. It is 100% free. I put out a newsletter every week packed with tons of value and data, insights, and news, and much more. Also, check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything about crypto. So if you'd like to learn more, go to mycryptocourse.com. Folks, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.